This was we had a fantastic main event. I can't wait to talk about the main event. Stick to the end to hear more about the main event. We're back with another NXT UK review. This one's going to be a little bit more in depth because I got quite a few notes on the matches. Hey, if you like this video, like, subscribe, share the video. You can find me on my other social links. And yeah, let's jump right into more NXT UK. So, I think I missed the first couple minutes, but for me, we kicked off with Rampage versus Wolfie. Very physical match. It's nice they acknowledge that Wolfie hadn't been in a singles match for about 2 years at this point. And you know what? They gave Wolfie a lot of offense. So Wolfie dominated most of this match. Again, very physical. He took it to the outside. He got the upper hand by driving Rampage into the post, and he worked over his shoulder in midsection. And basically the finish was Wolfie was going for a spear, Rampage gets his knee up, so Wolfie hits him, it gets hit in the head, then there's a little bit like of Rampage taking control, then he eventually gets the Doctor Bomb off and gets the 3 counts. A very quick win for Rampage at the end there. I think really that kind of face, get a couple moves off at the end, not taking a lot of damage type deal. But yeah, it was nice to see Wolfie get some good offense, to be honest. Then I didn't really understand this, but there was a thing at the PC where Ashton Smith was like, I'm a dad, and then Teoman comes up and he's like, yeah, congratulations. It's very awkward. And then Teoman asks him, where's Oliver? This might just be my lack of British wrestling knowledge. If anyone can explain this back and forth to me, I would really appreciate that. But yeah, I'm not too sure. Then an E for Valkyrie video package. Yeah, very cinematic, kind of corny, not gonna lie, but you know, she's like, yeah, I need to push through the failure. So yeah, it's just character development for her, I suppose. Then we got Rampage backstage. She sees the Gallus boys, and Joe Coffey's like, I'm gonna let you heal up. Then me and you will go one-on-one. That comes into play later. Then we have the Amel versus Xia Brookside match. If you remember, Amel attacked Xia Brookside 2 weeks ago, and that kept her out of last week's qualifier to see who would face Kaylee Ray, which Meiko Satomura won after she replaced Xia. To be honest, it was a good match. I mean, it was very clear this match was to build Amel. So Xia starts off strong. Obviously, she's angry. She gets a fast start, but Amel quickly takes over. Xia gets a small burst of a comeback, but then Amel pulls her off the top rope. And then this was a cool finish. Like maybe I have seen this sort of finisher, but I've not seen this finisher. Nigel called it a short spinebuster slam. So Amel kind of pulls Xia onto her. She's got her hooked, and then spinebuster straight down, and then she like folds her over for the 3 count. Very cool. I don't think I've seen that move. It's an interesting finisher. I like watching NXT UK because it's like you're getting a lot of finishers you don't really see on main roster WWE. Then you got Charlotte Samuels in the kitchen, obviously, and then Nathan Frazier comes in and he's like, you're starting on my shit, bro. And then Char, always with the best lines, he's like, you was as intimidating as a bit of salmon. And I'm like, so Sasha Mills is the best. And that sets up them having a match down the line. Then there's a Kaylee Ray versus Meiko Satomura video package. Then we go into the Supernova Sessions, which actually took a good chunk of time. And there was, I think, some character development for Ilya in this, which was good. So basically, obviously, what's his name? Noam Dar is making fun of Elias. Oh, you need to calm down. It's funny. He says, he's like, think about what relaxes you, like Siberia or the Gulag. And I'm like, you guys really go hard on him being Russian, I believe. Then Ilya's like, yeah, you know, I was kind of after the stuff with Walter, where I kind of was like this, but I'm in control. Then Noam's like, but you broke Mastiff's nose. It's like, yeah, but I know what's going on. Then he starts like teasing him. He's like, oh, I got your therapy dog. It was this little toy dog. And then Ilya's like, yeah, you're trying to goad me. You're trying to, you know, trying to push me. And it's a little bit of a language thing, because obviously I don't think English is Ilya's first language. But he was like, yeah, but I mean something to this brand. He was like, no, you don't mean anything. And I've got this violence in me. I can hurt you. And Noam's like, oh, see, you're just a scared little boy. And Ilya's like, whatever, man. Like, it's kind of like, oh, Ilya wants to beat the shit out of him. And it's nice because it kind of feels like Ilya, instead of being afraid of this anger and violence, he's embraced it. And he's like, I can use, like, if he can, like, not look after it, like, tap into it. He's like, I'm going to start tapping into this, and I'm going to use this violent side, which is great. I think he is going to eventually take that title off Walter. I think it will be Ilya, and it'll be this violent Ilya, and it'll be this really hard slugfest of a match. It will be after Walter deals with like Pete Dunne and whoever in America, but yeah, I quite like this. Yeah, after that, like, this was really great, but then you go to like Gradwell, like earlier this week, and he's like, oh, I want to fight Trent Seven, and Sid's like, all right, I'll make a phone call. And Sid takes out this like telephone receiver, which is probably from like the early 2000s. It's like a landline with the buttons on the phone, and I'm like, just use a mobile, mate. I'm sure Saintly's got a mobile, or actually he might not, but you know. And then it's announced that we've got Ilya versus Noam Dar in 2 weeks, and Joe Coffey versus Rampage in 2 weeks. So that'll be interesting. And anyway, we're at the meat of the episode. The Heritage Cup match. This was so good. This was the peak of British wrestling, I think. This was fantastic. I should have mentioned that at the start of this. Okay, I'm gonna put this at the beginning now and cut back. So, yeah, fantastic main event. I'm gonna go through each round one by one. To be honest, it kind of picks up in the third round. So, first round, just a lot of back and forth, feeling out, no falls, kind of standard for the WWE Heritage Cup matches. They're just feeling each other out. Second round, a little bit more of that. There's a lot of stretch holds going on here, back and forth, but no fall. Third round, they're really like trading. They're trading pin covers. They're trading submission holds. They're telling the story that A-Kid and Tyler Bate really know each other a lot. Tyler's been mentoring him. A-Kid knows Tyler's stuff. Tyler knows A-Kid's stuff. So they really know each other. They're going back and forth. They're covering each other, getting out. So it's very back and forthy here. But God, my handwriting is atrocious when I'm doing notes. But I think towards the end of this, A-Kid starts to get really violent with Tyler, and actually it ends with this round ends with they're on the ropes. I think like Tyler's got A-Kid in like a wrist hold, and he goes to hit A-Kid. A-Kid reverses it, and they both go over the ropes to the outside, which frankly I think could be really dangerous if someone landed awkwardly. But like, it was the last 10 to 5 seconds, and then it's the end of the round. They get back inside. Round 4 though is when shit hits the fan. Round 4, Tyler goes straight in for a strike, hits A-Kid hard. A-Kid hits him back hard. They're really going at each other. Like, they're trading like strikes, but like they look like they're going for each other. This is like really well they're selling how hard they're going for each other. And then for about the last 2 minutes, Tyler was basically in the sleeper hold. So there's a lot of fast back and forth, which I couldn't write down because there was so much going on. But A-Kid is in a airplane. Then Tyler reverses that. Tyler puts A-Kid in an airplane. A-Kid reverses that into a sleeper hold. Tyler's in it for a good 30 seconds to a minute. A-Kid lets go, and then he goes to a penalty kick, 2 count. Tyler kicks out. A-Kid right back into that sleeper hold for a good another minute and a bit. Tyler eventually gets out, and then he goes for a what's it called? A stalling suplex, which I think is reversed, but then he gets another one. Then he does it again, gets it off, and then but it's like 2 seconds left in the thing. He covers. It's a 1 count, and then end of the round. So I'm like, okay, it's 4 rounds already. There's only 2 left, and I think they were saying there was no sudden death round, because that's what it sounded like from Nigel and not Nigel on commentary. They sounded like it was just going to be a draw. But 5. Round 5 was really just A-Kid really took it to Tyler. They were kicking each other. He was really working over Tyler's arm. Tyler goes for a Tyler driver really early. A-Kid kicks out at 2. Tyler goes for a spinning senton, like his corkscrew senton even. A-Kid reverses that, gets the arm bar. Tyler tries to get out, but then A-Kid pulls him back in the arm bar. Tyler gets up, back into the arm bar, and then A-Kid eventually gets his leg over his bottom arm, and he's trying to pull Tyler's arm for an omoplata, and like he's so close to getting it. A lot of this round was a minute or so trying to pull Tyler's hand, and like Tyler's trying to reach, and you can see Trent, he's there, he's trying to reach out to him, and then like maybe with 10 to 15 seconds left, A-Kid eventually gets the omoplata off, and they had this really nice wide shot with Trent on the outside with the towel, and this is a thing I think I don't remember when, but Tyler's thrown in the towel for Trent in the past. So like Trent's holding it, he's spinning it. He's like, oh, I gotta throw this in, and Tyler's shaking his head, and he's like, oh, I gotta throw this in. It's like, oh, and then eventually it's the end of the round, and like Trent's like, oh my god, he gets straight into the ring. He's like, oh. And then they've got this really nice close up on Tyler and Trent for their break, and it's like Tyler's like, Trent's got the towel over his shoulder. Tyler takes it, he's like, you promised me you wouldn't do this. You can't throw it in. Promise me you won't throw it in. He throws out the ring, and Trent's like, I won't throw it in. I promise I won't throw it in. Tyler, I promise. And then so the round starts. And then it's A-Kid goes straight for it. Tyler rolls out the way. He gets up. They try to both trade blows. Tyler goes for the rolling kick. He misses. A-Kid goes for something. He misses. Tyler gets up. A-Kid gets up. Tyler hits A-Kid with a massive right hand. A-Kid stumbles, goes to the ropes. They take a second because they're both out of it. A-Kid hits a massive super kick. Oh my god, this super kick was loud. And then it's like they're both still a little bit out of it, and then A-Kid kind of is like, okay, I've got him razzle dazzled, and so he goes for a schoolboy roll up. So he goes under, goes to roll him up. Tyler very swiftly flips over, reverses it, so he's on top, and then he grabs A-Kid's legs, gets down on him, folds him deep, and it's 1, 2, 3. This is about 40 seconds into the round, and because it's the final round and it's the only pinfall, Tyler wins the Heritage Cup. And I was like, oh my god, they spent the first 5 rounds, the first 15 minutes, just really slogging at each other, and then this sudden 30-second pinfall in this final round. It's like, wow, okay, I was really expecting them to go literally to the wire, but this was a surprise. The last 30 seconds was a surprise, and I quite like that. Well, the first 30 seconds of the last round was a surprise. So I quite like that they started to change that up, because they had really built this thought in my head that they're going to go the full length of the match. Might even have been a draw. And A-Kid, he's in the background, he's just like, he can't believe it. He can't believe he like lost this, basically a roll-up. And like Tyler's in there with Trent celebrating. And I was like, I thought A-Kid's going to attack Tyler. He's going to beat the shit out of him. But no, he was very cordial. He gave Tyler the trophy. Tyler's celebrating. Trent, he's like a proud dad. Yeah, it's a really nice end. It was a great match. I love that we get matches this good on TV for NXT UK. I mean, I don't watch NXT. I couldn't keep up with the results, but when it comes to WWE programming, I think NXT UK is the best thing. I know the production value isn't the best, and it's very corny, but when it comes to in-ring stuff, overall, very, very good. No tag team action, but it kind of makes sense. Yeah, there's not really a tag team to fight. What's their names at the moment? Pretty Deadly. But no, really great match. Let me know what you thought of the main event. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Please share this with your friends or family who like wrestling. I really love watching wrestling again because of doing these. So thank you for those of you who do watch these. But yeah, thank you for watching. Something, go watch some wrestling.